trying.
Keep on trying.
Just keep on 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 trying.
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 For the race is not given
Keep on
to
trying.
the swift nor the
Keep
strong,
on trying.
but it's only given
Keep on trying.
to the ones who can endure.
Keep on
You
trying.
gotta stay in the race.
Keep on
You
trying.
gotta stay in the fight.
Keep on
You
trying.
gotta stay in the race.
Keep on
You
trying.
gotta stay in the fight.
Keep on trying.
God's gonna work it out.
Keep on trying.
God's gonna work it out.
Keep on trying.
Be not dismayed
Keep on trying.
or whatever betide.
Keep on trying.
God, He's gonna take care of you.
Keep on trying.
He's gonna take care of you.
Keep on trying.
He's gonna take care of you.
Keep on trying.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Permission to Grieve. While you're here, first, let me thank you all for joining us. We are so excited that you're here with us. Let's start off by doing this. Go ahead and like it, share it, tag your family, tag your friends, invite everybody in the room to come and have a conversation with us, all right? So I'm gonna give you some time to do that. Go ahead, do that. Go ahead. Great. While you're doing that, so again, welcome to Permission to Grieve. This is a space where we explore the messy, the beautiful, and sometimes painful journey of loss. All right? Here on Permission to Grieve, we do not rush healing. Okay. We sit with it, we honor it, and we give ourselves permission to feel. So whether you're navigating grief from a loved one, a life transition, or a loss that the world doesn't quite understand, this podcast is for you, all right? So make sure they know it's for you, and you, okay? All right, so together tonight, I'm here with some of my friends, and we're going to break the silence. We're going to share our stories and remind each other that grieving isn't something to fix. It's something that we live through, all right? So I am your host, Gabriel Washington, and I am so glad again that you guys are here, and we are honored to walk this path with you, all right? So before we dive into having our discussion, I'm gonna start by introducing this amazing group of people that I have with me today, all right? The first episode that we're starting with is called Grieving with Friends. I feel like the people that you're around in your low moments is very important. It is very important. And these are just a few of the people that kept me from getting too low, all right? So I'm going to start with my friend, Miss Ashley Patterson. Y'all give it up for Ashley. Let me start off by saying this. Ashley is not a talker. She does not talk in front of people. So for her to be here with me, Ashley, thank you for that. Let me start there. Thank you.
Thank you.
And as I introduce them, I'm going to share a little piece of how they've helped me along my journey. Ashley is one of those ones, she's the mama of the group. She's the mama of the group because she is the one, all right? What you doing now? Okay, where did you go today? Were you in bed all day? You need to get up? Actually, I just didn't feel like doing it. That's fair. But you got to do something. That's fair. So that is Ashley. My next guest is, everybody knows, Miss Allison Parson. Allison is one of my great friends. We've been friends a long time, and we've both have experienced each other go through the grief journey. So yeah, Allison has just been Allison throughout the grief journey. You always need a space that you can just call and pour. And I've poured, and Allison may have cried more than me. But that's Allison Parson. Y'all give it up for my friend Allison Parson. Then I have my best, Mr. Reginald Thomas. Wow. Reginald, I've been with Reginald through a part of his grief journey, and it's been an experience of you don't understand until you go through it. Right. So I did not understand a lot that, Quan went through his grief journey, but I made sure I was available for his grief journey. And then when I walked in his shoes, I'm like, Quan, man of God, so what do you do now? And so Quan has been that support of experience. So having someone that has experienced what you've been through also is very important. So give it up for Quan. To my left, I have Miss Christina Grant. Yes, y'all, Christina is one of the funniest people alive. By accident. It's not on purpose. It's not on purpose. She was just singing a beautiful song for us before we came on.
She will not be singing it for them.
Yeah, she's not going to sing it for y'all. I've known Christina for a long time, but it was in these years to come that Christina became my Christina. And I want to put this in here that Christina's parents has made me their godchild. So she's just not my friend. She is my god sister. All right? That is my god sister, and her mama and daddy don't play about me. Glory to God. Glory to God.
Glory to God.
The story that I have about Tina, I think Allison was there too. When Quetta called me and Quetta called, they already had a whole meeting set up. And I didn't know nothing about it. I'm just thinking, oh, my friends are coming over. What a great day. So Quetta called and was telling me about how Mom is about to go in hospice. You remember that night? And we were just chilling, and this person came and was like, I didn't even tell you I was having something. I was just clueless. Then another person came, and I was like, okay. So Quetta called and, went in the back, had the phone conversation, handled what I thought I handled on the inside of the room. And I came back out, and I just stood in the kitchen, and everybody was silent. Like, everybody was silent. Because they already knew what was going on. So they were just basically waiting on my response. So Tina I think I turned to the cabinet. Nobody knew what was going on. I turned to the cabinet and just was crying. And Christina Grant got up and hugged me. And hugged me, guys. And that was a wrap. That's my emotional support, guys. Christina Grant. And to this day, she is going to hug me. All right? And so I've been a part of Christina's most recent grief journey, dealing with the loss of both of her grandmothers, few months apart. And all we can do is be support to each other. Y'all, so that's my guest for tonight, and we're going to jump in.
They didn't clap for me.
Oh, clap for y'all, give it up for Christina. Clap for Tina. Clap for Tina. Clap for Tina. All right. Again, thank you to everybody that is here. I really, really, really appreciate y'all being here. And I do believe that our healing starts here. Our healing starts here. and our healing is going to continue for the rest of our lives. I do want to start off by saying I am not certified in grief counseling. I am not a grief counselor, but I am someone that's living through grief. So what you hear tonight is experience. We're not telling you how to do it. We're not telling you what to do. We're not prescribing. We're not doing anything. We're just sharing our experience because we are overcome by the words of our what?
Testimony.
All right, and that's what we're doing, y'all. We're just sharing our stories with you all. All right? All right, so we're going to start off, and they don't know none of the stuff that we're going to talk about tonight. Everything is coming hot off the press, like the preachers say, hot off the press. So I'm going to start this one. With Ashley. We're going to start off with Ashley.
So fun.
And again, anybody can jump in, but we're going to start with Ashley. Ashley, can you share a moment when grief reshaped your perspective on life?
So, of course, grief is not something that any of us can escape. So I've grieved different things since I was a little girl. I remember my first funeral. I had to be about 6.
Mm-hmm.
But it got different when my best friend died. And for me, even as an adult, I still struggle with the fact that young people die. Death is supposed to be for 90-year-olds.
Right.
They've lived.
Right.
You know, somebody
Right.
like, I'm still here. Yeah.
Okay.
You still turning your page and add numbers. But that's just how, honestly speaking, death does not happen to 30 and under,
Right.
40 and under. You know, like.
Hold on, Deacon.
They
They
can't
said
hear
they
me.
can't hear you.
Y'all,
Pull that
I'm
mic up and talk
trying.
in that
I
mic.
know.
There you go.
It's always. Does this help?
Oh, look at that.
Can you hear me
Can you
now?
hear her now? All right.
Amen.
Okay.
So, as I was saying, now that I am swallowing the mic, I struggle. I struggle as just, I guess it's a millennial thing. Maybe it's just a me thing. Accepting the fact that death happens to everybody. You know, there is nothing that you can, and not even physical death, because as you get older, you lose friends and you lose people that you always thought like they would never do nothing like that to me. They're not going to do that to me. And so death of friendships as well shaped my viewpoint on life. Like, dang, you really can lose anybody.
Right.
And it's really just unpredictable. So it kind of made me a little bit of a pessimist.
Right.
You know, if we're being honest, I really looked at a lot of things differently. I went into a shell and I stopped communicating with people because I did not trust people.
Right.
Like, either I'm going to really love, because I don't let people in, and I already got trust issues.
Okay.
So if I let you close to me, I'm letting you close to me.
Right. Thank
so
you.
now, you know, now you want to mess around and die, because that's how I felt about my friend. Like,
Right.
you
Yeah.
had the audacity,
Right.
mitigated goal, to die. Right. I was disgusted. I was so mad at him for the longest time. Like, that was something. He was like, I'm gonna wake up and die today. Like,
Yeah.
he didn't do that.
Yeah.
But it was really something that I struggled with. Like, dang, people can really just leave. They just leave. And then what? So it changed my perspective. I had to really do a lot of work to get me together. Like, a lot of work. So, I mean.
Anybody else want to jump in on that?
I think I'll say kind of what Ashley, piggyback off what Ashley said. I think I told a couple of y'all this, that people lately have said when certain situations go on, like, how do you feel about such and such, or you lost such and such, y'all aren't cool anymore, how does that work for you? And I'm kind of like where Ashley is, where like I told you, I've lost the foremost of people, important people to me. So losing other people at this point is kind of like, okay. So I'm kind of like this numb place that you try to work through. So you don't want to do it, and then you feel like death happens to the best of people. Like,
Right.
my mama didn't do nothing to nobody. Like, she didn't smoke, she didn't drink, she went to work every day. Like, what? Why you pick her? I got a list of other people you could have chose
Right.
from. But
Right.
yeah,
Yeah, I think for me it was just the first problem was my mom was a goer, like a goer. Worked every day, did everything, travel back and forth to Colombia how many times, needed. And when we found out she had cancer, it was just like, how? Like, y'all, this is my right hand to God. I've only experienced my mom have like a cold or something. I've never seen her sick to the point that she has to be in the hospital and all that stuff. So when she told us, like, oh, all right, yeah, you'll be all right, Then it was like, stage 4. Wait a minute.
I hadn't heard about those stages.
Wait a minute. So what does that mean now? You know what I'm saying? So, and again, I still had the hopes of, you'll be all right. Like, you're going to get through this. You're going to get through this. So it kind of shaped my perspective on life. Like, his plans is not my plans, And so I felt like the conversation that my mom and God had was greater than the conversation that me and her had. Me, Mom, you got to fight this. You got to fight this because you got to bounce back. You got to bounce back. And she could have been having the conversation of, God, I'm ready. You know what I'm saying? Right. So their conversation trumps my conversation because, it's God over everything. It's God over everything. And so that's really what changed my perspective on life. You all right over here, Quan?
Listen, I think he's struggling.
He's struggling. Yeah, it's okay.
I want emotional support.
Oh, guys, Ashley brought emotional support. Ashley brought lifesavers.
That's right.
You need some because they're here to save us.
Tina?
I wanted to touch on something Ashley, and I think Ashley and Reginald mentioned earlier about, she talked about her best friend actually leaving Earth and departing and grieving that and how it affected her relationships with other people. And I think one of the major things out of that is like, a lot of times when we talk about grief, we talk about people leaving Earth and, we can't see them no more. We just go to their grave or however they're...
Right.
Right.
Well,
cremation or whatever. However
it may
whatever.
be.
But one of the major things that shape my life when it comes to grieving is grieving somebody who's still alive.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's tough because you know when somebody passes away, and I'm trying to choose my language because I don't want Facebook to ban us. When somebody passes away, you remember the good times. Mm-hmm. You remember, you take solace in the good memories, and you can go to their grave, but you actually can't see them walking around, living, breathing. Mm-hmm. But baby, if you have to grieve somebody who's still walking around, floating around, and y'all in the same city or something, you be like, boy, and that's like. That's tough.
Yeah, I've honestly dealt with both at the same time.
Jesus.
So for me, it was like, I think they might be such and such place. I'm not going. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna stay home. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna save face, and I'm gonna stay home because that is a lot. That's
because sometimes it starts that process all over again. Right. Like I done got to stage 3 of grieving you. And now I'm at the head store. And you over there getting Beijing.
Okay. Insane. And now I'm angry again. But and still, and that's grieving. Now again, I kind of like what Quan said. I've lost one of the most important people to me. Mm-hmm. So now it's like I have a different perspective on losing people.
Yeah. Right.
You know what I'm saying? I have a different perspective on losing people. But again, grieving the walking,
it's a thing.
Is serious. Mm-hmm. It is very serious, and it kind of mess with your brain cells. Mm-hmm. Because every day I was telling myself, "Child, I don't care nothing about them people."
Oh, baby.
And then Facebook give you a memory.
Okay, there it go. Snapchat.
Memory. Now, if you really didn't care.
Okay. So, Allison, I have a question for you.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna give everybody like a minute or so to answer this question, and we may have.
You say that before you ask me, because
No,
why would I ever talk over a minute? I never do that. I'm straight to
See
the
what you
point.
doing.
I don't ramble. I'm not detailed. I would never talk over a minute. Thank you.
Allison,
Go
well,
ahead.
back in 1989,
I'm trying to paint the picture for y'all.
So, real quick, pause for identification. I noticed
Okay.
that the greatest pastor is on this live tonight.
Yeah.
Bishop Barry Tolbert is here, y'all.
Bishop.
I love my bishop.
Hi, Bishop.
I love my bishop. I love
Dang,
my bishop. We gonna have conversations with him later on because it's
Absolutely.
yes,
really
we gonna
good.
have
It's gonna be
conversations.
an
with him.
oily
Must.
conversation.
Yeah, right.
What's your name? Allison.
Allison.
Have you ever felt pressured to grieve the right way? And what does that even mean?
Have I ever felt pressure to grieve the right way? What does that even mean? That's 15 of my seconds right there. I think, yes, I have, and I'm not really sure what the right way looks like, but I will share. So my first love, and I think you know this, Gabriel, high school sweetheart, all that good stuff, first love. After, we went on to not be first loves anymore, but we still were very close. And in 2009, he killed the mother of his children and then turned the gun on himself with both of the children in the car. And so when you say, have I ever been pressured to grieve the right way, that was really tough, because that's not just your friend getting in a car wreck or your friend, and that's not just him committing suicide. Negro, you get what I'm saying? So what does the right way to grieve even look like?
Right.
I'm very angry with you. I am extremely upset with you. I am, hurt about the mother of your children and the family. Like, it was just so much pressure, and grieving the right way, the pressure to grieve the right way. So the answer you was, I had to get to the point where the newspapers calling him a murderer, they're calling the children orphans. I mean, it was so, but I still get to grieve the right way, which means you still get to provide yourself a space to grieve Marcus's absence.
Right.
You get to do that. You don't have to think about how it happened, what happened, because the fact still remains there's a loss of somebody you love, and you owe it to yourself to grieve Marcus's absence.
Right.
The end. All the other stuff, you deal with how you want to, but don't be hard on yourself. Grieve the right way.
The right way.
So I hope that answered your
Good
question.
job. Go ahead, Quan.
Thank you.
If I can be 100% honest, I don't even know if I've still grieved the right way.
Wow.
I guess for me, because my losses happened so fast, back to back. Like, my mom and grandparents were all a year and 6 months apart, like 1, 2, 3. And immediately after my mom passed, we found out about my dad's cancer 2 weeks later. So I immediately had to go from this to moving him in with me, taking care of him. So it was, I think I turned it off, which is why now people be like, oh, it's Mother's Day number 9 without her. You should be, should be a little easier. And I'll be like, no, it's not. So I don't know if I ever grieved the right way. I think I'm still processing a lot of it because it happened so quickly. So I just had to brush it off my shoulder, keep going. You got to take care of everybody else. So I still don't think I've grieved the right way.
Okay. Team? No?
what?
I'm calling you your nickname.
I don't even know how to really answer that question. And I'm saying that because I don't know if there is a right way to grieve. I know that we grieve. Let me talk about me. I know that I grieve different things differently. So with each loss was a different type of grieving moment. Some I cried, some I got angry, Some I just was a city girl.
Could you explain that, please?
Thing, yeah. But you grieve it in different ways, like, you know, being 100% honest. Like, sometimes you just be like, I don't want to talk to nobody. Leave me alone. I'm not answering the phone. I'm about to sit down and eat some ice cream, even though I'm lactose intolerant. Like, that's that could be a way. So I don't really know how to really answer that, because I think I don't know the right way. I think with each loss, it'll be a different form of grief.
Right. Right. That makes sense. That makes sense. Ash, in your mind?
I agree with Tina. There is not a right or wrong way to grieve. And I was doing an eyebrow and something came to me, so I wrote it down, and it was, shut up. Grief is your brain's way to accept what your heart can't. And so for me,
So you got to say that again. Say it one more time.
grief is the brain's way of accepting what your heart can't. And so there's a part of Frozen, I don't know if y'all watch Disney, but in Disney Frozen, the sister has superpowers, and she strikes her younger sister with her power in her head. And so they take her to like some trolls, because they know magic, they understand magic. And the troll says, you're lucky it wasn't the heart. The heart is not so easily changed. Wow. But the brain you can convince.
Wow.
So
Preach
what does that look like? You know, like, how do I fix my brain trying to comprehend what the heartbreak, you know, the longing for something that will never be, because that your heart is wanting that phone call.
Yes.
I need a text. I need an email. An email will suffice. Can I write a letter?
Right.
You know, you're
Right.
longing for these moments, you know, looking at pictures and you're seeing yourself, and you can hear how you laugh when they were present. You don't laugh
You don't
that
laugh
way
the
no
same.
more.
You don't
No.
laugh.
You
The
know,
sun
you-
doesn't shine like it
You're-
used to.
Yes. You're wanting to touch things that you'll never be able to touch again. So how do I define what that looks like? You know, how do I define how to do it? And so I did at one point feel like I'm grieving this too long. Why am I still crying? Like, I had beat myself up this last September. My best friend's birthday came around, and baby, I was not well. And I wanted to be well so bad. I wanted, with everything in me, girl, pull it together. Get up, go outside, go walk. And my body was like, sis, we just can't. And I talked to my therapist, and she said, well, why would you think that? Why would you think that you would be okay? You won't grieve the same magnitude every time, but grief is going to always be a part of your life.
Right.
And so that's something that I've had to kind of hold on to, that there is no right or wrong way. So even if 9 years later, I'm just now processing, that's fair, because this is, you know, it's almost like losing a limb. If my arm is gone, I got to learn what that's like. Like, I'm walking around
Absolutely.
with this you're annoying. You know, I walk around with a missing limb that's been with me my whole life, and now it's not.
Right.
How?
How?
You know?
Yeah, I think for me, they just kept saying, you got to grieve. You make sure you grieve. And I used to tell them, what is that?
How does it look? Yeah.
Like, if you want me to grieve, you tell me step by step how I'm supposed to grieve. You know what I'm saying? And I tried a counselor. Although the counselor, not saying the counselor, the counselor.
Thought you was going in tongues.
Idiot. Not saying the counselor wasn't amazing, because she was great at what she do, but it was just like after the first 2 sessions, I'm looking like, I don't want to talk about my mama no more. You know, like, because now I already relive this October 1st every day. You know, and to this day, I'm looking like, Lord, is it October 1st? You know what I'm saying? So it's like I had to relive that experience, that whole journey, like every day, and it just wasn't helping me. I felt like, and it may have been, You know what I'm saying? I don't know because, again, I don't know what grief looks like. So it may have been helping, but in that moment, it's just like, this ain't what I want. You know, and Tina was talking, like, there are different stages of grief. That anger stage
Is a real thing.
it is a real baby.
Ooh, it's
everybody.
so
It is a real. And that's why it is important to have people that understand where you are around you, because they will know that their anger is not towards you.
Right.
They're not even angry at their mom or their parents or their grannies or their best friends or their granddad. They're not mad at them. They're mad at the fact that I am living my new normal. And how do I make my new normal normal? You know what I'm saying? Like, how am I going to do that? I posted for Mother's Day, I was like, my mom was a piece of my heart. So when she left, that took that piece of my heart. So that's that pain that I feel every day. You know what I'm saying? I still read our text conversation. You know, I have a folder in my phone with just her pictures, just her videos. Y'all, you call me crazy, but I still go on my Facebook page and watch the funeral.
That's not crazy.
Oh, wait a minute.
I pop the DVD in all the time.
Come back. I sob, but it's just like, what do you want me to do?
You're grieving.
Exactly. So to that question, there is no right or wrong way to grieve.
Right.
You just have to grieve your way and make sure that you have people around you that understands, like, oh, that's grief. That's not Gabe. That's grief. You know, that's not Tina. That's grief. I know, I'll use Tina for an example. Tina is one of the most lively persons ever. Like, she brings the energy. And it was just one Sunday morning. I'm not having it today. You know? And she didn't say that. You know, she didn't have to say that. You know, but just went to her, rub her back, and let her have her moment. Because what you can't do is don't hug Tina.
Please don't.
Do not.
No, let's be clear. There's only certain people that either I hug or they hug me. Like, don't. So this is not an invitation for people to hug me because I do not like hugs. Okay? Let's be clear.
Right.
I had to force it. I stole a hug.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I was fine with that.
So that leads me to my next question. Have you ever struggled with saying the right thing to a grieving friend, and how did you navigate that?
I think in the kitchen. I mean,
Me, who's that for?
Whoever.
my mind went back to the kitchen. Like the story you told with Tina in the beginning. Like, I remember that moment when you came down the hall. I mean, what are we about to say to Gabe? We all knew what was getting ready to happen. This is why we here eating lima beans with you right now.
Right.
We didn't come for the beans. We came to be here with you, and now you know that's not why it was good, but that's not why we came. And so I think when Tina did what she did, thank you, Jesus, because we did not know in that moment. You know, my thought was just provide presence. There's nothing to say or do right now that is going to bring any consolation. And, you know, thankfully, all of our brains, like we said, don't think, you know, the right way to grieve. For me, I'm responding to my friend's grief by, I'm here. There's nothing I can say. Tina, in that moment, it was comfort. Let me just bring comfort. And that's what she did. And we just stood there and had the moment. And then we all clowned. So afterwards, it was like, all right, chicken ready? You know. Yeah, come on now. Come on.
I'm a bit scared. Me too.
All right, it's the chicken ready, is what we said.
Was the chicken ready?
And that was that moment. But yeah, I feel like I never know what to say to Tina. I don't think I, really said much except just checking on you. Because she's Tina. I mean,
What?
I see her as such a strong person. Gabe was very present. He was a present help when we got the call that my grandfather died.
Oh God.
That was it. I think I'm still there, wherever we were. Like, I don't remember the ability to gather myself. No, and Tina's grandmother died, and I'm like, let me text my friend. Oh, she's on the live at church, and so it just shows that we all just, Gabe, you sang the next day after so it just shows we all just, grieve differently, and I think, yeah, I struggle what to say to all of y'all.
Yeah, because if I didn't show up someplace around somebody,
right.
I was going to be at Killian Lakes
In the lake, in Killian Lake?
in it.
Oh,
Check my location.
So mad to see that.
Say
they
water
walking in
listen,
the
but
store.
y'all, that is a real thing.
No, that is
When after the funeral, because during the whole process of October 1st, crazy thing is when I got to the house the morning that my mom died, it was already full. You know what I'm saying? So for the rest of that week, we've been dealing with people.
Yep.
But here is the crazy part about it is this whole week, my dad was in the hospital. The whole week. We literally had to, I always forget how they call it. We literally had to check him. What is it called when you just have to take them out the hospital?
Discharge,
Something like
against medical.
right.
Yeah,
We literally had to do that.
Kidnap.
like I did, Tina.
She's just playing Meta.
On
She's
that
just
movie.
playing.
You got
Yeah, we literally had to. That is crazy, and we had to do that. These two, in order to get him to come to the funeral, because they was not about to let him leave to come to the funeral. We had to plan his wife's funeral while he's in the hospital. So guess what that meant?
Listen,
We're all here, but he's there by himself. And give it, y'all, 10,000 claps for Quetta. Because when I tell you, the girl held it down in that
Yes,
house.
she did.
She held it down. But again, all of my siblings, now we had to plan Mom's funeral. Because his thing was like, what you want me to do? And I think the part that had kind of hurt me the most is when we went to when we went to view the body before, the final family view before everybody else sees, I had to call my daddy on FaceTime
absolutely, he did.
for him to view his wife. And so it's just like, dang. And then, again, every day, our yard was packed every day, every single day. And there were still moments to where I felt like I am sitting at this place by myself. And I just was like, I don't know what I'm about to do. So after the funeral, I literally sat in my house and was like, all right, God, I accept it. Just take me with her. I feel like I'll survive better if just take me with her. You know what I'm saying? I literally was like, I'm not going to survive on this earth without that lady. Got a great daddy. I love my daddy to life. I have great siblings. I have great family members, but I've never lived a life without texting my mom every day or her calling me every day or just some type of interaction every day. I've never lived that life. And here I am a year and some change and haven't heard from my mom since the Thursday before she died. No, take that back. I spoke to her that Saturday because we were out singing, but we sang with Daisha. And y'all, it was so crazy. I was in and out that service. I'm a church boy. I like like church. My spirit was not there. I was in and out the service, just randomly calling my siblings. I got you, Jr. Handling like my siblings and calling Quetta, like Quetta's not answering the phone, like this is not right. Then somebody else answering Quetta's phone. I called my mom's phone. Somebody else answered the phone, and I'm looking like, what is going on? And when Quetta called me, she's like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know. I'm in Greenville now. I don't know. I was like, okay, well, I'll come home. I was like, no, just don't come home right now. You know, we just gonna get her to calm down and rest. Bless it. 3 o'clock that morning, Quetta called somebody and said, you gotta come home now. And I'm looking like, what you mean? Like, you gotta come home now. 20 minutes. I was in Jedburgh. That's about 20. Jedburgh. Quetta called. Where you at? Oh, I'm almost there. She gone. Wait a minute. I was almost there. So I think for me, it was just like, I feel like I didn't have the closure. You know, everybody else was there to say, you know, love you, get your rest, da 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 da. I didn't. The last thing she said to me was, okay. I said, I'll call you later. She said, okay. And that was it. And that ain't how it worked for me. Elder J.R. Alexander, Pastor J.R. Alexander is on here, and he says, talk about how when you're responsible, you have to manage the moment and grief later. When you're the one they count on, you don't get to grieve first because you got to get things done. It's a tough space. You grieve without the comfort of the crowd. And y'all, that was Quetta. Wow. And there was many days, she's gonna kill me for talking about her. Like, I was concerned about Quetta. I used to text like, yeah, Quetta ain't good. Like, Quetta ain't good. Like, to hear her have to say she's in the bed sleep and she's hearing my mom call her name because she was the caregiver. So she used to, Quetta! No, she used to hear that all day. So to hear her say, like, she's jumping out of her sleep to saying she hear my mom, I was like, I don't know how to help her. I don't know what to say. Like, I don't know what to do in that moment. And she had no opportunity to grieve because right after the funeral, then she became the caregiver for my dad. Mm-hmm. So, and then, you know, she has her kids. Then, you know, my parents is foster care. So we had those kids and my little brother. So she literally became the mom of the house. Mm-hmm. You know?
I know she on her.
I'm sorry, Quetta. I am sorry. I'm sorry. I knew you was gonna fuss. But you held it down. So I just want, come on, y'all, clap for Quetta. Because you held it down. I just wanted to give her your props. All right.
Can I speak to what JR said?
Yes.
Oh, excuse me, Pastor JR. I'm just reading your Facebook page. No disrespect. I honor, double honor.
Hey, Dejanine.
But reading that was crazy to me because when my maternal grandmother passed away, she, you know, one day my mom and my dad called me and my sister, hey, your grandmother went to the doctor. They said she had pancreatic cancer. Blase, blase. They giving her 6 months to live. Excuse me? So we was like, okay, but you know, y'all know my parents and you know my mama. Uh-huh. You know, but God got the last say so.
Okay.
You know, she lived, let's be clear, she lived past those 6 months.
That's right.
But even then, you know, my grandmother being older and in Myrtle Beach, you know, I live in Columbia. Mm-hmm. And y'all know my mom, she, you know, has a disability. So when it was time for my grandmother to go to the doctors, we was like, what are they saying? And she's like, and I'm like, y'all, what are they saying? So I was like, I'm going to go to Myrtle Beach.
You did.
So went to Myrtle Beach, took her to the doctor. We went to like 3 doctor's appointments that day, got all the information, shared it. when my grandmother passed away, I'm in Myrtle Beach. I'm driving from Columbia to Myrtle Beach. That's 2.5 hours. So even doing there, I had to go to the funeral home, had to pick out the casket, had to write the obituary, had to find the pictures, had to put the program together, had to print the program. I was like, okay, had to make sure, because, when somebody in my family die, I'm the person that they call to call my sister and my cousin. They're older than me. Let's be clear. They're older than me. It's like, they be like, you called Toya? No, just give me a second. And then my other cousin, her name is Rochelle, but we call her Poochie. It's like, you call Poochie? I got to call them together because I can't do this right now.
Right.
So doing that, going through the funeral, make sure everything is right for the funeral, make sure putting people on the program, making sure this person show up, and then everybody's just like crying and grieving, and you're at the house trying to make sure this person, and my sister lives in El Paso, Texas, so she's not able to just get down here at the drop of a dime.
Right.
So handling that funeral, and then a few months later, my other grandmother she just left here unexpectedly, like a month before we were supposed to go on a cruise, her first cruise. And doing that, getting that call that morning, I was at Thomas Brown's house in Charleston. God bless Thomas, because my mom called me because they were on their way to Charleston to go to Apostle Montgomery's church. We was having a denomination thing there. I can't remember what it was. But my mom called me as I was getting, she FaceTimed me. And when I answered the phone, all I saw was her like crying. And if you know my mom, she's dramatic. So all I saw was this like frantic face. I don't see my dad. So now I'm like, what is wrong? What is wrong? And so leading up to there, I left from Charleston and went to Sampit. And if you know what Sampit is, that's in Georgetown. That's a ride. So getting to my dad, because my dad, this is mom. He just lost his mom. He went to go take her breakfast before he headed to before he was headed to. I'm sorry, y'all. It's something going. It's something in the background that y'all can't see. But
Bloopers.
Sorry.
But he was taking her breakfast, and she wouldn't open the door, and he just found her. And so now I'm getting down there. So I had to write her obituary, find her pictures, get her program together, pick out her casket, go to the viewing, tell her, man, fix her face. That's not how she looked. And it's just like, girl, everybody else is grieving. And then he had the audacity, as Ashley said earlier, the mitigated gall to, at the funeral at the end, he gets my pastor to come get me, to tell me to come here. My pastor blindly led me to him. And then he was like, your daddy wants you to help him close the casket. Oh, wow. Excuse me?
So, closing the casket?
When I started to say Dr. Alexander, I'm gonna call him that, 'cause that's when Dr. Alexander said that, it's just like, bro, that's real. And sometimes you don't realize it until after you're so busy making sure everybody else is all right, that you don't, hey, am I okay? Like, am I good?
Yeah, I was gonna say that's kind of. I moved to Greenville in July 2016. We found out my mom had cancer October 2016. And I think I told Gabe when he found out about his mom, there were some days I get off work and Greenville to Florence is 2.5 hours. I didn't care. I would just 5 o'clock drive to Florence. If it was just for an hour, like I'm going to sit here for an hour and I'd drive back home. And then when she passed in January, it was immediately, Quan, what were you doing here? What you got? I'm like, hold on, wait, I gotta do what? Yeah, you gotta plan this, you gotta do this, pick out these colors. She wants you to sing too. She wants me to do what? You want me to do what? You want me to do what? You said you want me to do what? Yeah, okay. So planned it. Clearly, play a recording. I literally still have her obituary in my phone because I literally laid out pictures, wrote it up. Then after she passed, a year later, a year and 8 days, my grandma. And I was like, oh, Quan, you already did this before. Plan this. This is the only thing that we care about is this person doing this. But you know how to lay out pictures. You know how to pick caskets. Do it. 6 months later, my granddaddy, hey, Quan, are y'all crazy? Like, what is going on? Who has, and none of that time I couldn't be, the only thing that I did do, which we're gonna equate my weight to that, was everybody comes in the house, black people. Did you eat? Did you eat? So I just literally sat at the table one day. I was like, I'm eating. So I just ate because everybody's asking, did you eat? I don't have time. What do you want me to do?
Right.
Y'all saying plan this, find this. Oh, you know where the insurance papers are. You know where. Yeah, because they told me where all that stuff was, but I don't want to do this. And then my dad, luckily, thank you, Dad, he prepaid because he was like, you're not spending $17,000 like you did your mama. So he prepaid for his. So all I had to do was pick a casket for him, which he did make that easier on me, which was, we bless God, because that would have been, a task. But you don't get the chance to sit down like everybody else does and fully grieve because you have to be on go.
Right.
So.
Y'all, again, let me thank my audience, y'all. We thank y'all. We see y'all. Yes. We see y'all. So do me a favor. Give us some hearts, give us some hand claps, whatever you want to give us, and go ahead and share it again. Share it and invite somebody to come and join us, y'all. Tag your people because we're talking, and honestly, this is good talk. This is good talk. This is just nothing but honesty, guys. This is us sharing our honest moments of traveling through the moments and levels of grief. All right? So there were many times through the process of the grief after she passed, I said things like, I shouldn't have went to church this day. I should have called out of work this day. I should have stayed longer. Or I should have did this. Like, I should have did that. We should have went to IHOP, because IHOP was her favorite restaurant. Like, and the last time that I saw her alive, we took her to IHOP, and she cleaned her plate, but did not eat anything. Did not have an appetite that whole day. Cleaned the plate, and so that leads me to my next question that we're gonna start with Ashley. What role does guilt play in grief, and how do we move past it? Thank y'all for the likes and the hearts, y'all. Thank y'all. Share it, y'all. Share it.
Ciao. I don't even. Guilt is a nasty.
Foul gutter snipe.
I had a doctor. My grandfather died. What was that? 2017. He died. He was living with me and my mom. He was on hospice, and I was like, Granddad, I have a doctor's appointment, and I'll be back. I actually had a miscarriage. Nobody knew. So I was holding it together by strings because of this miscarriage. So I go to the doctor, and I'm sitting in there, and they have me in the doctor for what feels like 6 billion years. So if you know me, patience is simply not my strength. So I'm in there like, bruh, what is going on? And my mom is blowing me up. I'm like, I told her I had a doctor's appointment. I didn't tell them why I was going to the doctor because that was just something I wanted to do on my own. Right. And so I answered, I'm like, Mom, I said, the doctor, what's up? Your grandfather just died. Why would you call me like this? Me. Because for some reason, it's always your plan. I don't know why we always think somebody would play like that, but my mind was, why would you even call and play with me like that? I'm mad at her because don't call me with this. And so she's hysterical. And I'm like, I just left 15 minutes ago. Right. So now I'm speeding down 27. I'm doing about 110 on that Toyota. Was on 2 wheels. You hear me? And so I walk in the house because I'm like, let me just, because he was just looking for me. He's going to get up when I come in here because he dare not. And I walk in the room, oh my God, he's dead. And so I just had to go to that stupid doctor's appointment. If I didn't go to the doctor's appointment, he wouldn't have did this. He would not have died if I was here because he knew better. I had already told him, don't play with me like that. I don't care what them doctors said. So I was mad that I went to the doctor for forever. When my best friend died, February was just, in general, an awful month for me that year. Like, I was in shambles. Postpartum depression was dragging me by the little bit of hair that it left me with. And so I was just struggling. And so I was going to call him because he was my ghetto emotional support person. If I need a comic relief, let me get him on the line because, baby, I'm not doing well. And I kept putting it off. Like, I'm going to call him tomorrow because I just need to get these clothes washed. I'm going to call him tomorrow because I need to get... And then the tomorrow when I was going to call him, my sister called me with that sound. What's wrong with you? Why you sound that? I don't actually want to talk to you because I feel like it's negative. And so it was negative. And so now I'm mad because them clothes could have waited. They could have stayed dirty. I should have picked up the phone every time I felt the need. And so now, if it's 4 o'clock in the morning and Tina's eyebrow crosses my head, something's wrong with her. It has created an anxiety for me that if a friend pops up on my mind and I'm in the bathroom, bring me my phone. I got to do it while I'm thinking about it because I cannot miss the opportunity.
Right.
I don't know why he's put you in my mind, but are you floating in that water? I saw you. I check your location. Christina, I was checking your location. You okay?
That's how she was when my mom had a stroke and I left and my dad called me at like 6 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the morning. And it was Sunday morning and I just jolted down to Florence. And a few minutes, like after I got up there, I got a text message. Hey, I see you're in Florence. Is everything all right? I was like,
Good job, Ash.
I probably was right behind her.
Listen, so she does. I came to attest that she's telling the truth.
Right.
I can't help it. If I hear your voice, or it's an anxiety. I don't know. There's nothing else. I honestly just feel like that's God's way of telling me to check on somebody, and I just honor it now. Because what else am I going to do? I mean, it does give a little bit of anxiety. It makes me, but I'm either going to pray or I'm going to call you or I'm going to do both because why are you bothering me while I'm resting?
While you're resting. Allie, what you got for us?
You know, I'm going to try. But I'm probably not going to make it through this.
It's okay.
But I'm going to try because you asked me.
Okay.
So my guilt is a little different. I have extreme guilt that I will probably never get over when it comes to my grandfather. Because I was a granddaddy's girl, like everybody knows that. And the older I got, life just started lifing. And so I found myself not really spending time, the moments where, and he would say stuff like, come sit with granddaddy sometime, or, come, I ain't seen you in a long time. You didn't call, come sit, and I didn't. If we were going by after church or we were doing, but the moments to really, every now and again, I would like take him to the doctor, but I feel like there was a longing in his heart to maintain that. Because my grandfather, I'm the only grandchild that calls my grandfather daddy my entire life. It's about 200 grandchildren, literally. Is there not, Gabe?
Oh, yeah.
It's a lot of us. And I'm the only one because that's who he was to me. So when he died, like right before he died, he had gotten a dementia diagnosis. And it was getting bad. Like I had bought a new car and he was still trying to do daddy stuff. Like, let me take it for a drive. It was 3 hours later. We didn't know where he was. And he came home saying he was at a store that didn't even exist no more. Like it had gotten really bad. So I'm like, I'm working at MUSC. In the psych hospital, I'm going to pull the best doctors, bring them. So I call my grandma. I'm like, we're going to go downtown. Took him, got this diagnosis, was trying to just get him the best doctors. We had to take his guns and, just all that stuff. And I vowed then, I'm like, Daddy, I'm going to be there. And, he got a little better. And I just kept being busy. And a few months later, I don't know what was on his mind. He ate stewed chicken and went down the hall and, come on, sir. He went down the hall and went down The big hall.
Down the hall.
That was it. That was literally it. And so he kept walking like, I mean, he said, you know what, enough. I'm out. I'm gonna eat this. I'm gonna eat this meal, and I'm gonna carry on. It's a place a little better than this, right? And they caught. And he had a massive heart attack with my little cousins over him, trying to resuscitate him. Like it was bad. And so that's all. I don't know how to get past that guilt of not putting in that time with my granddaddy that I really felt like if I would have known, you know, you said it. If I would, so now, like when I think about it, you know, I'm here, my grandma's there, but I try, like I don't do the best, but I, you know, try. Like the other day I cook, I'm gonna drop this big spaghetti off in Ridgeville. Grandma got food, you know, because I know those moments matter. I told her to call me back and let me know how it tasted. And she did not call me back.
Guess you know what that means.
Cousins, if y'all watching, I hadn't talked to her since that day. She didn't call me back. But yeah, that's just my guilt. Spend time, if you have your grandparents, like spend time with them. I'm sure Tina can attest because those are moments. I would give anything to have my granddaddy back again. And that's not possible. So we love you, Roy. Rest up.
And let me tell you something. He was a dresser.
Yeah, my granddaddy was.
He
Harlem's finest. Or Harlem man.
Love that.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the big hall, Allison.
Big hall.
It's wild.
He went down the
The
hall.
big hall.
That was a lot. The big hall was a lot. I want to share a comment that Andrea Patterson, is that Andrea? Is that my friend?
No, that's my other sister.
Okay, hey Andrea, you still my friend too, though. You still my friend, Andrea. She says, "Thank you all for your courage and transparency to speak on such a sensitive subject. This is healing for many. Permission granted to feel those feelings, all of them." And hear what she said. You will feel those feelings, all of them, because there is. I said it maybe last Sunday. Was it last Sunday? Where I shared that I was confused because I went to my mom's grave and I did not cry. Y'all, that bothered me.
Yes, he came in the house.
I know, like it was Allie's little birthday brunch, and everybody is like, "Gabe, you are absolutely too quiet." But it bothered me that I went to my mom's grave and I did not cry. I was upset. I had to message Apostle Kimberly Brown. I was about to message my bishop, but then I was like, okay, no, he's at the marriage retreat. So I messaged Apostle Kimberly Brown, and I told her, something's not right.
That's the Lord's apostle.
That is
She is.
I said, something is not right. And she was like, you know, I don't know if she went to a quick panic. And she was like, okay, what's wrong? I explained to her what's wrong. And she said, Gabe, only thing that's happening is God is changing the way you grieve.
Yeah, yeah.
He's changing the way you grieve.
Careful.
So there were some points to where, yes, there were some points that the only thing grief did for me was made me cry. But now there are some moments to where I'll grieve and I'll laugh. You know what I'm saying? So there are a lot of emotions that come with grief. Yes, when I'm angry, I accept the fact that I am angry.
Ooh, don't I be angry?
I accept the fact that I am angry. And I think that is important to know that the way you grieve, the feelings that you feel, they're not inaccurate feelings. Those are the moments where you just have to find that memory. I have a video in my phone of my mom. My mom loved to play cards. So this time, all of us, all of my siblings, we were all sitting in her room playing pity pat and love a pity pat. And my mom was whooping our tail. And she had her dollar bills in her hand. and that baby took them dollar bills and started fanning.
That's it, Shirley.
That is my favorite video. And I go back and I watch that so I can have a moment to laugh. You know what I'm saying? So live in every emotion. Pastor Chandra said, give yourself permission to have the moment. Just don't get stuck. I'm telling you.
Listen,
I am telling you. Because in the beginning, I was stuck.
I was stuck.
No, I was stuck. I was stuck. And I came here one Sunday, and I was having a horrible Sunday. You know, I lead praise and worship. I'm going to do it. I'm just going to do it. Like, I'm going to do it. Like, I always felt like God has graced me for that. You know? Okay, Ashley.
There's no guess.
That's a fact.
God has graced me for that. And when I'm in that space, like, I don't know, I just become like totally out of myself. And that particular day, I could not come out of myself. And Bishop Tolbert, you were the first person I walked into. Because they were praying, and I was in the back of the church boo-hoo crying before I had to sing. You remember that? We was on McNaughton. And I'm looking like, oh, God, I got to sing. She's like, well, you don't have to. But I was like, no, I got
Too
to.
empathetic. I'll fall apart.
You are.
I can't handle it.
So I went, and prayer was over. I went to the stage, and I stood there, probably sung one line, and it just was like waterworks. And I walked off that stage, and Bishop Barry Tolbert says, Gabe, this is not the place you have to hide. And I said, excuse me? You know what I'm saying? But I needed that in that moment because I am a great hider of my emotions. I am good you to life. You know what I'm saying? Because there was a point, Tina, where I felt like I don't want people to know I'm having a bad day. Because I feel like if people know that I'm having a bad day, how can I help them? Like, I want to make sure I'm there for you. So if you're having a bad day, you can't come to me because, you know, you got a bad day. So I hit it. I hit it. And sometimes I still do.
You don't hide well.
I don't. Yes, you can't hide from Deacon. You can't hide from Deacon. And I will honestly say, transitioning to Greater Church of Columbia opened my eyes to healing. And grief is something that we're going to live with forever. But I've now learned how to. I've now learned how to manage my grief and not let grief manage me.
Right.
That's good. Still managing.
Because grief was in control. Grief made all of my decisions. Grief decided who I was going to talk to that day. Like, grief was top priority for me. So, next question is, I'm going to go to Tina. And then Tina and, Tina and Quan. How do moments of joy coexist with love, with loss? And do you believe that laughter has a place in grieving?
Oh, you got to repeat the question.
I definitely read that question backwards. You saw me try to flip it up.
Because what?
Can you use it in a sentence?
Can you use it in a sentence?
Let me
Can
try
I phone
again.
A friend?
Let me try again. Do you believe that laughter, well, we sort of just talked about this. Like, do you believe that laughter has a place in grieving? And how do moments of joy coexist with loss?
That's a two-part question. Does laughter have a place? I'm be like Allison. Does laughter have a place
In grieving.
in grieving? Yeah. To answer that, and then I'm gonna ask you the second part of that question in a second.
Okay.
But yeah, I believe so. It's weird. Let me
Right.
say it's weird because when you're at the house and you know somebody just died and you get people to come over, and for example, the Saints came up when my paternal grandmother died. The Saints
Didn't
came
we?
up. They fry fish.
Yes.
Shout out to Barry Smalls. Let me
Fried
tell
the
you,
fish,
anything that you need fried,
Barry
Barry can fry air.
He can drop it in
Listen,
some grease.
He can fry air.
a thing of water, he can fry it.
Can.
He
Boy
can fry anything.
Barry's
Yes, he
making
can.
it. Give me 2, please.
Right.
He's a
but
fryer.
they came up and they cooked and we was outside and we were just laughing. And I was so confused because I'm like, but I'm sad. Like, so should I be laughing? Like, should I be laughing or should I be sad? And then I realized that I can do both. I can do both. I can still, even at funerals, you know,
Yes.
if you, funerals can be, the moment is really sad, but
Yes.
some moments
Absolutely.
in the funeral
Yes.
can be really funny.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And it's
I'ma
okay.
Every
Listen,
time.
to laugh.
Every time.
because it can be, right.
Yes. We did it. Front row.
I could be boo crying and then somebody say Allison to say something ridiculous.
Yeah, it's
and I'm
always
like,
her.
shut up.
That's dumb.
So laughter has its place and it's so healing because sometimes you need that break from that. Tears are, even though they're water, they're so weighty at times. Like
Yeah.
they're heavy.
Yeah.
Like, and so
Careful, elder.
My God.
breaking that moment with somebody who can fill that space with laughter, I think is healing to anyone.
Absolutely.
Second part.
The second part is how do moments of joy coexist with loss?
Ooh, okay. Where's the tissue?
You better
No,
not.
I'm not. I'm
'Cause
going
when-
to try to make it through
Because
this.
when Tina,
Lifesaver.
when Tina cries,
It's a
you can
wrap,
count me
right?
out every time.
Okay, I'm going to be I'm going to be transparent.
Okay.
About 2022. One of the things that I've always dealing with the loss of my grandmas, I always prayed to God, like, you know, as I got older, like, I want to have kids one day so that I'm not going to make it through this moment. Hold on.
Okay. It is okay.
You
This
see
is
how
what
I'm
this
looking
is
at
for.
you already?
Like, I want to have
not gonna make it
I
this
want to
long.
have kids because I want my grandmothers to see, you know, I met my great grandmother.
Right.
Like we called her Granny. And I wanted that moment. I used to pray about it like, God, before you take my grandparents, just let me have a child first so they can at least see it. Like, and in 2022, I got pregnant and I was just like, first of all, emotions was everywhere. I'm saved now, y'all. I don't partake in the devil's recess, all right? But I got pregnant, so I'm sorry, and I had to laugh to
That's
break
my
that
point.
tear up.
There you go.
Right.
And I was excited, but I was like, oh Lord, so many things was going on. Like, oh Lord, like I'm pregnant, like. Wait, Lord, that mean you about to take my grandparents? But that, because I was like, before they leave here, like, don't let them leave. But I ended up going to the doctor, first doctor's appointment, second doctor's appointment, found out that, you know, the baby didn't make it, right? Blew my entire mind and went through a whole season of just like, I'm going to say depressed, like, just lost, like, could not figure out, you know, how to get through that moment. But then after processing that and still learning to process that, finding the joy, because for a long time I thought, well, maybe you just can't get pregnant, you know? Maybe you just can't get pregnant. But finding the joy in, oh, you can get pregnant. Even though you lost what you had at that moment, like it gave me the hope and a joy that
Coexist.
it will happen. Now, will my grandparents see, you know, if I have a child in the future? No, but I'm okay with that. One of my grandmothers, I ended up telling her, I was like, yeah, I would. My grandma Virginia, and Allison was on the phone one day when she was telling me how to make collard greens.
I love that lady.
And she was on the phone with me, and I told her, I was like, she always just say, when you having a baby, because I ain't got too much longer. And I hate when grandparents say that because
Don't get me started
Hate
with
it.
my grandmother.
you got to relax. Because where you
Relax.
going?
Relax.
But she used to say that,
Exactly.
and I was able to tell her, like, Grandma, well, I was pregnant, but I lost the baby, and she got she got to see the picture of like the ultrasound and stuff like that. She was like, oh, but I'm done. Okay, somebody else.
Beautiful answer. Beautiful answer.
I'm sorry. Next.
Lifesaver.
She
Lifesaver.
won't take them.
Gosh, Teen need a lifesaver, guys.
I'm sitting over here eating them. I'm stressed. Give her my strength.
That is hilarious.
All right, I'm sorry. I'm done.
To you guys on the live, before we end it, I do want to allow you guys to, if you have a question for us, if you have something that an experience that you want to share and get some pointers or whatever you need, put it in the comment section. Because remember, we're healing together. We're grieving together. I know it's just us here, but you're there, and we're doing this together. All right? So, again, like, tag, share, do whatever you got to do. Post it in them group chats. Find some grieving groups. Post it in there. Let the people know that we're grieving, and we're grieving together. Quan, I got a different question for you, though.
Okay.
Because you dealt with multiple losses in
3.5 years.
in a good distance. So when it came to my family, we did too, right? My uncle Melvin died, my mom's brother. Then my cousin, who was one of my mom's close friends, Michael Nick, died, which is Lillian's dad. Then my mom died. Then after my mom died, I had 2 uncles that died. Then most recently, my aunt, who's Quetta's godmom, just passed. So all of that happened in like a good measure of like back to back, honestly, How did you handle, or what areas of handling do you feel that you need help in, or that you feel that you lack in? Because we know you can plan a funeral,
Okay.
but what is it? Okay, here it is. What's the place that you're in now with handling all of those deaths back to back?
The place I'm in now would still be, I'm still kind of unsure. It was a while ago, I guess. My dad will be 4 years tomorrow. But I'm still in the place of mad and unsure. Like, why? Like, to be honest, like yesterday, Mother's Day, I get heated when I'm like, dang, everybody else is just posting their mamas, all joyful, happy, here's your flowers. And I'm just sitting here with no joy. Like, my joy was taken from me, in which I feel like was too early. So I feel like it was too early, and I never. And being honest with, being transparent, me and my father never really got along until my mom passed, and she forced that because her last thing was take care of your daddy, and I was like, okay, I guess, because that's what you say do, and that's what the words say do, so I'm gonna take care of my daddy. So doing that, I wish I would have bridged the gap with him earlier, and with him I still have that resentment that I wish I would have stopped. Like the night he died, I wish I would have. I was coming from Florence. He was in hospice in Lawrence. I went to a birthday dinner. I was on my way back, and it was like 2 a.m., which they said you could stop by anytime you want to. And I was like, I'll just stop by in the morning. I'll go back in the morning. Passed him. He was 20 minutes away from my house, and I literally walked in the house, walked upstairs, sat on the bed, and my phone rang and said, Hospice of Lawrence. I was like, I know you gotta be kidding me. And she was like, is this Daquan? And I was like, yeah. She's like, well, your father transitioned like 15. I was passing there.
Wow.
I was passing there, and you couldn't wait until tomorrow. So with all of them, I just wish I'm still trying to understand it, and I wish I had been there when it happened. I kind of beat myself up for moving to Greenville when my mom and grandparents passed, because had I not moved, I'd have been there every one of their last moments. But yeah, I wish I had stayed, which is not the way to look at it, because I don't think I ever would have left had I stayed. But yeah.
All right, Quan, that was beautiful. That was beautiful. So, guys,
That was a lot.
he need a life stick.
I need one for you.
All right, so again, I appreciate everybody. Y'all give it up for my amazing special guests, Tina, Ashley, Allison, and Quan. This has been great.
I have a final thought.
Okay, Ashley's going to give us our final thought at the
No, I
final
wanna
thought.
give us the you should give the final thought, but it was just something I had in my mind.
Oh, you want to say something? Ashley want to say something. Go ahead, Ashley.
I just wanted to say that I honestly feel like permission to grieve is not just permission to be sad.
Right.
Permission to grieve is giving yourself permission to keep living.
Mm-hmm.
Permission to find new joy, find happiness, make new memories, embrace holidays while they don't look the way they used to, and the joy does not hit the way it used to. You are still allowed to be happy that it's holiday season. You're still allowed to laugh from your soul about things that they did when they were here, and the things that's just new life. We are still allowed to live and have joy and be okay. I don't want grief to always look like down and depression, and it looks like that. It
Right.
looks like that.
Right.
But it also looks like me saying, I get to live.
I get to
Take him with me, and I wear it. I wear my chain. I talk to my granddad. He's at the house still, sitting up high in his little urn, and I'll talk to him up there when I'm cleaning up and things like that. And that gives me comfort while they're not responding. I'll be yelling at them, I'll be fussing, because I still think it was dumb.
Oh, you sound like me and Quetta.
Ooh, get me.
That was
I'm
so
like,
dumb.
why would you do that?
I say that all
You didn't have
this
anything
was
else to
the
do?
dumbest thing you've done thus far.
Okay. I'm telling you. You see how bringing people that have the same, you hear the same lingo.
Yeah.
You
And
hear
I
the
just
same
feel
lingo.
like all of that is fair, and I'm very big on things being fair.
You definitely. That's fair. That's fair.
That's her.
All right. So I didn't come to keep y'all all night, and I do appreciate y'all for hanging out with us for the length of time that you hang. Listen, permission to grieve is going somewhere, and it's going up. It's going up. This is just episode 1. I see some people asking for part 2. Yes, I'm going to do this again. My next episode I'll introduce to you all is grieving and celebrating. And I am going to have my siblings. Yes. I'm going to have my siblings, and we're going to do that on my birthday.
Oh, that's going to be very dope, Gabe.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes, and we're going to talk about, I think Ashley just mentioned it, those holidays and those celebrations. How does that look after losing? Because my mom was the party planner, the event planner. So how does that look after the loss? So yeah, y'all got to join us on that. Before y'all go,
We get to be a studio audience.
Sure.
Okay.
You guys,
Yes. So I just want to say really quickly, Ashley gave the final words, but I decided I was going to do this like 10 minutes ago. So I just want to say, Gabriel, when, I think we were all present for his mom's funeral and stuff, and it was he was grieving his mom. It was just, watching him, the whole experience. I remember being like, my friend is not going to make it after this, and then we went out, and then all of a sudden everybody started running. It was like Gabe having another breakdown. It was a lot. But I just want to tell you,
shook the casket,
I want to tell you two things, and for the viewers too, it is impossible to stay in the same place.
Right.
Like, seasons change. They have to change. It is impossible to stay in one season permanently. So I want to tell you, I, as your friend, am proud. I'm watching you today, and I'm still seeing you at this standing at this casket. And I'm looking at you today, and it is proof that, again, seasons change, but pain can birth purpose. Now, I only been riding with Miss Shirley for about 7 years, and then she became Destiny's bonus grandma and the babysitter, and we became really close then. But I know how much Gabriel's mother loved him, and he was her baby. I mean, she would come up here and, Gabe, why did your mama bring 75 ginger ales up here? Why
You're
did she
judging.
bring
75.
all these rolls of tissue? And I know whether she could get here or not. She was on every live Gabe did. If he didn't send the live, she was messaging him. She was proud of Gabe. And so I want to tell you, on behalf of Shirley Washington, that she is definitely looking down tonight, and she is so proud of you, and we are all proud of you. And I'm full. I am so proud of you, and I'm excited about the podcast.
Thank you,
and
Allie.
I know you're going to bring healing to so many people. We know you sing, and that's fine, but I'm loving this new platform that God is opening up for you, and the other side of Gabe that people are going to see, to not just allow your singing to bring healing, but your pain to bring healing to others. So I'm so proud of you.
Thank you, Allie Cass.
Yes,
Absolutely.
Listen.
About to stir me up.
Any closing?
Elder.
No. Y'all. You just, our pastor preached a series one time, and he said that God would give you beauty for ashes.
Yes, absolutely.
And
This is it. Yeah.
that's what it is. I'm proud.
Thank you,
I'm
sister.
proud. You've learned how to put your heart into words.
My
As you
God.
And-
See, Elder?
Download it.
Yes, if you don't have it, shameless plug. Apple Music,
Download
Google
it.
Music, go ahead and get it.
No shame.
That's
Just careful with the dear mommy.
right. Oh.
You don't listen to don't listen to track one. Yeah, let's be clear.
Well, I just want to say, because since we doing closing remarks,
Absolutely.
I just want to thank you, Gabriel, for obeying God and listening to what He told you to do. Because I don't think that this is just something that you just thought of. I think this was placed on you by the Spirit of God, because you've helped us. And I remember reading something one time before, and I think I put it in maybe one of my posts, that it says, like, grief is just love with nowhere to land. But I think you've given us all a platform to learn how to navigate that love. And even though it cannot be given to to the people that were once living, we're learning as friends and as a group of people how to place that. And so thank you, because a lot of times, myself and maybe some people in the comments, like, I don't know what to do with this love. Like, I can't give it to the person because they're no longer here.
Right.
I can only, reflect on the memories, but now I can navigate that grief and give it a soft and safe landing.
That's it. That's it.
Soft and safe.
That's it. Quan?
In closing for me, I think it would be our bishop, our pastor said a month or so ago when he was praying for someone else, he said, they may have passed, but your purpose didn't.
Wow.
You're still going to reach everything that you were supposed to reach. All that is still going to happen, which is something that I held on to. I know that's something that's going to work for you too, that we lost what we lost, but in the end, everything that God has set for us is still going to happen. We are still going to reach every goal, every milestone. So we just got to keep pushing, day by day.
Yeah. All right. Oh, God, I appreciate y'all. And I just want to give this disclaimer. None of us cried one
That's
time.
amazing. Yeah.
Tina was close.
That
Quan
thing
was
that's
close.
amazing.
Pull- It was a lifesaver.
It was because of the lifesavers.
Step
All
right in on time.
So I want to, before we go, I want to give you guys the opportunity to join in as a sponsor of Permission to Grieve. Again, this is something that I just don't want to stop here. I want to keep going. I want to help people that are grieving in Africa.
My God.
I want to help people that are grieving wherever they are.
International
I
grief.
want this to be international. All right, so I'm going to give you the opportunity to sow into Permission to Grieve. What that looks like for you is what it looks like for you. But I'm asking everybody to just grab something and sow into Permission to Grieve. You will see the fruits. And I, again, yes, so you can sow by my Cash App.
I was about to say, how they?
Yeah, I was about to say, whoa, did you say that? My Cash App is $ I am free to. All right? So if
The number.
yes, the number 2. The number 2. Yes. All right. Again, I appreciate. I saw my auntie Roberta's on here. That's my mom's sister. My mom has some amazing. Let me tell y'all something. My mama has an amazing family, and I love them down. I love them down. So yes, if you would like, so and help us, help us spread the word. Again, thank you to my production, No Blinking Creative Operations, Barry Smalls. Y'all, we're going up from here.
Absolutely.
Please believe this is not the last time you will see them. You may not see them together. You may see them together, but you will see them again because my life is them. These are my people, and I appreciate every single one of y'all. You all have played an amazing part of this grief journey. And I don't think I would have made it through this grief journey if I didn't have the 4 of y'all that's sitting at this table. So I appreciate y'all, and I love y'all. If I had $1 million,
Oh, it's coming.
y'all had $1 each.
I can't make no pound cake.
Ooh, Ashley's pound cakes. Ooh, glory to God. So again, if you would
German
like,
chocolate would be better.
if you would like to sow, you can sow into Permission to Grieve at $ I am free to. All right. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'll see y'all next month, June 13th. I will be 37.
Grow up, son.
years
Grow up.
old.
My God.
Yes, and I will have my favorite people in the whole wide world. Yeah, my siblings are famous.
Yes.
Yeah, my brother don't talk, so
He doesn't.
I am excited that he's
don't
going to
talk.
be
He
here
don't
with
talk.
me. Yes, and that's it. Chastity, if you're here, girl, you about to graduate. Thank y'all for joining us on Permission to Grieve. Remember, grief has no look.
Right.
Grieve your way and grieve well. We got your back. If you need
We
any
got
of
your
us,
back.
find
Absolutely.
us. You don't have to grieve alone.
Right.
All right? I love y'all. Take care. See y'all next time.
I don't know which one.